Christy's Beautiful Life, and I'm here to do Get Sketchy with Christy and Rachel. This week we are doing the actual sketch. I picked from Sketch and Scrap at blogspot.com, and this one was done by Lisa Hiddy. I'm sorry if that's not pronounced correctly. I love it. Look at all the fun little bits and pieces here. 2 photos. What I really like is that it's a split piece of pattern paper. So this is one piece and that's another. I'm really digging it. I have decided to pull these 2 photos back out. You've seen them a couple times. I have attempted to scrap them and they've just never come to tuition. What is that word? They just haven't happened yet. So I'm determined to get them used this time. So those are the 2 photos I'm going to be scrapping with. And as for pattern paper, I pulled 3 different collections because I'm not sure which ones I want to use yet. So the first one is the Brighton Pier. It's very childish, which I think would work well considering I want to scrapbook about my child. So I really love this collection. So that's the first one. I thought because of all the colors of the toys and stuff, that might work. I've also pulled the Rise and Shine from Amy Tan. Again, there's some brighter choices in here, and what I was kind of thinking is this right here would kind of help highlight some of this. So I have that one as well. And then finally I have the Crepe Paper Journey, and I kind of hoard this paper, but I think I should use it and get it on a layout. So this is a little more muted, but like this piece I thought would work really well with it. So we'll see. I haven't quite figured out which way I'm gonna lean and what I'm gonna do, but this is my starting off point and I'll get you on fast forward. Hey everyone, so this is going to be a take on how to do a layout and use a sketch in just a little bits and pieces. So the first thing I do is I grab 2 sheets from the Brighton Pier collection with the script. It's gray, it's so pretty. And then I just used a cut apart. This is a scrap that I had, and it already had a cut apart because I was using it for something else. Layered my photos and figured that's awesome. And so having the half and half on the pattern paper for the background pattern and the way my photos are layered is the only parts I take from the sketch. The rest of my layout is just on my own, putting things where I want them to go. So I started with using 2 pieces of strips of pattern paper from my stash, and then a third one just for a little bit of dimension and just added interest to the side there. I then went into my smaller stash of just awesome little pieces of pattern papers I've been hoarding because they're so pretty that I didn't want to throw even those little bits and pieces away, and just kind of layered up and made the layers look appealing to my eye and how I could help kind of spice up the background a little bit without it being too much, and the fact that your eye still goes to my photo, which is what I wanted. I do grab a piece of tissue paper to layer on with one of the photos, the one of just my son, and I do some stitching. Now the stitching, it's kind of hard to see, and really it's just there because I wanted my paper to really have a good backing because there's so many layers. And those strips, I was just afraid that the adhesive just wasn't going to be strong enough, so stitching was just kind of my idea on how to fix that. So like I said, a little bit of tissue paper here, and I like that. It's just a little subtle thing, but it does kind of help bring your eye in, and it's just a little extra layer there. It's a very boring title, just titling it Boxing Day in these awesome silver thickers that I have. And then I'm going to pull out all of my stickers and literally go through every little bit that I have to try to find a few pieces that I can layer and make work. You're going to see me kind of go through, and my idea here is that I want to use the backing. So this is, I've already used the sticker, and this is the leftovers from that, and I like to cut those out, leave them on the sticky part, like the backing of it, and put dates and stuff on it. That's how I utilize up things like that to the best of my ability. And so what I did there is I pulled out something that says Our Story, and I am just kind of randomly, like I say, going through every little bit and piece that I have to see what I think could possibly make it on my layout, just to have something there.
Now, as I've said, this layout is about Boxing Day. I have tried to scrap this layout multiple times, and I never got to it. I kept deciding to pick other photos when the time came, and I finally found the right way to use it, and I love the way this layout turned out. So what it is I had to work Boxing Day. It's one of the very first Boxing Days I've had to work within the short time my family and I that we've been together as a family. But I had started a new job, and it wasn't the right fit. I moved on very fast after the month of December, but for that month I worked a lot of kind of crazy and crappy shifts, and Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas, so the 26th, I ended up working. And but because obviously I don't work first thing in the morning, I did want to take a little bit of time out of my morning and spend with my little guy playing with his new toys that he got for Christmas. So that's what you see there. The toy he has, it is from one of the shows he watches on his YouTube. He watches a lot of YouTube, like educational YouTube, and then he picks his own shows through that and goes into really strange shows like Kinder Surprise eggs, like opening them up, and one where he came upon this toy that you hit with a hammer and a ball. So there's three balls you line up, you hit it with a hammer, falls onto a car, and the car shoots out of the gate of the garage. And he's watched it multiple times, and so when we happened to come across it when we were Christmas shopping last year, we knew we had to get it for him because he knew exactly what it was. He knew how to use it right away, and I just thought it was a fun thing to get him. And so that's what this is talking about. The journaling is very short, basically saying, I did have to work, but I did take the time out to make sure to spend a little bit of time with you during that day, because in Canada it is a holiday for us. And that is the basics of the layout and the background story to it. As you can see, I've added little pieces here and there. I did add a little sticker that I said, excuse me, I think says home for the holidays, which I thought was fitting because he got to stay home. And then, like I said, I did use my roller date stamp, and I put the date, and then I think the subtitle says celebrating on the stamp. So that's again it's kind of like my personal joke to myself because I wasn't celebrating it and I didn't get to be home. I had to work, but he did. So that was kind of fun. And then I just kind of went through my stash and the little things I've had kind of hanging out, and that finishes up the rest of what I'm doing. So that's my layout, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.